It should do Lord Overlay. Let's get it! Making original content is the hardest job a YouTube creator can have. What can I bring to the table that wasn't talked about before? A lot of the conceptual analyses are philosophical at best. This idea of reaching into the conscientious unknown with the goal of pulling something profound, right? Well, I have something. We often hear about living my best life and performing at a high level. However, pundits don't talk about if being the best is replicable. Is the ability to be your best a repeatable action? Now, in order to be at your best, you have to be actualized. What is actualization? Let me define that. Well, the word actualize means to make actual or realize. Think of it as manifestation, making an idea real. To be our best selves, we have to quantify what the best is. For some, it's a laundry list of items. I have the woman or the woman that I want. I have the house that I want. I have the car or cars that I want. I have the great job that I fought for. I have all of the money I can ask for. I have great kids. And I have a purpose beyond all of the materials one can possess, right? Or to be our best selves can only be a fraction of those things, or save one or none. If you have none, technically you're a nihilist, but I digress. Now, is it possible to be our best selves at all times, knowing that there's either the laundry list of ideals that we have as being the best, or the one or no ideals? The answer is that it's not possible for most. It's not possible for most people to be at their best at all times. Why? Pundits say a lot that there's not enough resources in the world to help everybody, that there's not enough resources in the world for everyone to perform at their best. That's not entirely true. An example of this is when a person loses a limb, or their eyesight, or their hearing, for example. It forces them to be better with what they do have. Let's say they lose their eyesight, their hearing becomes better. They lose their hearing, their vision becomes better. They lose a leg, the other leg becomes way stronger than when the person had both legs. So what I'm getting at is this. The loss of some of our abilities forces people to make the choice to perform better to survive. This loss of some of our abilities does take place in society more often than it is advertised. I call it ad hominem entities because these entities are always attacking the man for whatever reason. Comfort suppression is a dangerous thing for most because most people never had to struggle. Let me expand on this. Most people had a mom and a dad that sheltered them from the storm of real life, which is adulting. Adulting being the ability to manage your needs and your wants. Your needs create bills. Your wants create bills. That is the exchange of value for value. Exchanging needs and wants for products and services. That is what adulting is all about. Managing our consumption. Okay? That's it. Adulting is managing our consumption. Now, let me get back to my argument about being the best. Being our best requires comfort suppression, which is struggle by another name, right? Now, comfort suppression is consumption suppression. As humans, we are comfortable consuming things. Credit, we max out our credit cards. Woman, we fuck as many as possible. Food, we eat until our heart is content. Then we eat some more. Parties, we go to as many parties as possible. Fun, We seek to have as much fun as possible. We consume everything because it's comfortable to use. Humans are users. That is the natural way. The flip side to users are producers, the people that make products and services for users to use. Now, it is possible for a producer to consume at the same time. However, the producer must create more of the thing that he is good at than he consumes to actually be a producer. An example of this is a writer or a chef or an artist. They have to output more than what they consume in order to produce. Okay? That is the requisite of performance and production, to output more than you consume. Now that I've ranted about that, let me get back to performing our best. It is not possible to be at our best at all times because we don't struggle at all times. Also, if the struggle is too great, then it's not possible for an individual to perform at their best because they don't have enough resources available to them to realize what they perceive to be the solution to their struggle to make their outcome a better one. That's a lot of word salad, so let me go ahead and rephrase that for you. Every person has a solution to their problem, to their struggle. They know what will make their lives better. They know what will make them better off. But just because they know what will make them better off doesn't mean that they'll actually get it. Why? Getting stuff, achieving stuff, actualizing success requires a number of things. It requires the baseline work in order to achieve it. It also requires opportunities to achieve it. Opportunities being the number of chances one has for whatever desire that they want. The opportunity can come once, many times, or no time at all. Now, the only time that opportunity cannot come at all is when the individual hasn't done any work to find the opportunity. You see, opportunity requires work as well. You need to search for available opportunities. The search work, also known as due diligence, is the ability to look someone or something up and is a very, very powerful and not often used tool. The finding out work, the research, the detail, that is what people hate. That is what separates the successful from the failures, the ones that are performing their best and the ones that can't handle the struggle. It's the detail that separates the champions from the lost. Now, that is what makes people lose. It's their laziness. Their laziness with the details of concepts, okay? So whenever you think about people failing or people losing or people being bad with stuff, it's because they didn't get good with the details of the thing they lost at. They didn't read the fine print. They didn't look up the definition of something. They didn't put terms into context to understand the term better. They didn't look up the available opportunities to get what they wanted. They weren't good with the details. Details is what makes a person such as you do, Lord Overlay, able to produce content. Details is also what creates inequalities. If you didn't look up the details to whatever you're doing, you're going to be ignorant to it. I'll give you an example. Taking a test. If you didn't get good with the details of the test, such as the structure of the test, like how many hours is the test, what subjects are going to be on the test, how many questions on that particular subject is going to be on the test. Is the test a CAT test, a computerized adaptive test, or a standardized test? How are the questions weighted? Is there a writing portion on the test? How much preparation hours is a baseline requirement to successfully pass this test? So that's just an example of the details required to successfully pass a test. Now, if the person didn't focus on the details, they would just be ignorant to successfully passing that test. Passing the test at that point would purely be on luck and test taking ability, which is a culmination of intuitive processes earned from previous experience. This using of ability without details is what makes being our best at all times not possible. We cannot replicate the best possible outcomes without details and preparation. Lastly, what we as individuals fail to do is another person's opportunity to perform. In other words, when we fail to get good with the details, someone else will. And it's that person who will have the advantage over you. The one that's willing to do the work necessary to win. Lord, overlay.